All right. Hey. Welcome to the team call. Happy hour. Office hours.
Yeah.
Water.
Happy hour.
Yeah.
I don't have my wine tonight.
Too late for happy hour. That's only like 5 to 6.
Not for California.
True.
Where's Brett at? I need him for honorary happy hour time.
Honorary happy hour.
Check on it. I was just checking on a couple people myself. Glad to see you here, Tanya and Katie. Thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry. Jerry's on. Jerry's brand new. We're excited to have him on the team. He's here in Houston.
Nice.
So,
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
setting appointments, making a waves, making things happen.
Hey, Robert. Hey, Sonia.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there. What's happening?
Hey, Robert.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You want to kick off the meeting?
Yeah, go ahead. So, I'll kick it off. This call is just our office hours, what we call it, just our call to kind of get together in a smaller group setting. We have obviously we've got our daily call throughout the week from 9 to 9:45 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday. And then there's plenty of opportunities to get on and other coaching calls throughout the week, product call, calling us, our sales calls, so many stuff, right? But this is kind of just our opportunity to get together as a smaller group and just answer more pointed questions that you guys have, or just kind of honestly just have a roundtable discussion on certain things. Tonight, what we wanted to go over was, and then after we kind of go through preliminary stuff, you guys feel free to unmute, jump in the conversation. But we were going to go over current clients, how to work orphan clients, and kind of the way that Michelle, who's also my mom, processes her current book of business. For y'all that don't know, some of us do know, but she's been in the business for 15 plus years, has a book of 4,000 plus clients, and over the last 2 years really, she's only worked her current book of business. And so we kind of, before the call, I was thinking about what would really help the team. And that's just kind of what was on the top of forefront of my mind. Obviously, I know a lot of you work different stuff. Some of you are working your current clients. Some of you are working final expense leads. Some of you are working retirement leads. Some of you are working in warm market. Some of you are just getting started. So wherever you are, a current client doesn't have to necessarily be somebody who's in your current book of business. A current client can be a friend of yours that you've, been in contact with, or not necessarily even done business with before, but how do you bring up conversations with people about products you can serve them with? Specifically, she's been working with her current book of business and her friends warm market only over the last 2 years, and she's still been able to produce anywhere from 15 to 30,000 on average is she paid per month just from that book of business, and getting good at working her current clients plus referrals. So that was kind of the topic and the heart of tonight's conversation. But after she kind of goes through just preliminary stuff, whatever you want to talk about, then we can just open up the call for discussion. I feel like we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you, Megan. I'm excited to talk to you today about current clients. And a current client could be anyone who's even purchased insurance before. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about today is, how do I go about talking to them? How do I transition? How do I pivot? And how do I make sales? And how do I get referrals? All of it. And so get ready to take some notes. And some of you have heard me do current client appointments. Some of you have heard me do referral appointments, and we'll go into more of that. But first of all, whenever you speak and set an appointment with a current client, what you're going to do is when you call them, you're not going to go straight into business. You've got to, every time you're on the phone, you've got to build rapport again. So it may have been, sometimes it's been 10 years, 13 years since I've spoken to these people. Sometimes it was just 2 years ago. Do you think they remember me? Not always. And sometimes we've had to text them or call them multiple times to set the appointment. So is it a slam dunk? No, but it's someone who has purchased insurance before from me. They may or may not even be active in my book of business, but that doesn't matter either. So I just want to encourage you that there is a gold mine. First of all, have your mindset that your book of business is a gold mine. Whether they have an active policy, whether it declined when you got it, whether they canceled within the first 30 days, or maybe they canceled 5 years in, doesn't matter. It's all I look at all of that the same. Okay. So first of all, you're going to build rapport. How you do that? You ask questions and you be their friend. You remind them who you are. Hey, this is Michelle, your insurance agent. I always introduce myself as their insurance agent, even if I know their policy isn't active. Why do I do that? I have confidence in what I do. And when I'm calling them, ask them things like, how have you been? How is your family? If you have notes, and hopefully you do, if you have notes about your last conversations with them, look at those notes and say, how's Mary? How are the children? Did you guys survive the pandemic? You know, I mean, this is, you know, if you watch the news, you can always bring up something about whatever shooting happened today, you know, and talk about that. I try to bring reality as kind of as quickly as I can and just let them be comfortable with who I am. And I might say, do you remember me? I came to your home in 2009. It's been a while. You know, we've been trying to reach you, and I'm sorry we just never connected, but I'm glad we finally did. And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I know. I just, you know, they don't know either, right? It doesn't even matter. But the point is you're connecting with them. Does that make sense? So you're connecting, look for notes from prior conversations, bring in their family. Now, then the second thing you're going to do, number 2, big. Tell them your agenda. Okay, after you do warm up 5 to 7 minutes, you know, and in that warm up, you're going to find out some things. You might find out they got a divorce. You might find out they have more children. You might find out they have more grandchildren. You might find out they had a stroke last year. They just got out of the hospital, or they had pneumonia. And just listen to them and take notes. Okay. I'm taking notes on my computer, on my calendar. So I have them permanently there. Okay. Tell them your agenda. What is the agenda? So today, Miss Susie, my job today, I'm not going to take too much of your time, but we are going to review all of your plans. I'm going to verify some information with you, review your policies in details, making sure you understand them. And I'm going to see if we need to make any adjustments or any changes. And I'm also going to answer any questions you may have and complete your emergency list if we don't have one on file. Okay. So then that's when I'm moving and I'm transitioning into the appointment. Please, and as I do this, if you have questions, you know, just jot them down, and at the end, we'll try to answer them. So then I'll go ahead and look up their address that we have on file. And are you still at 123 Easy Street, you know, Houston, Texas, 77505? And is your email still this? And if you don't have their email, this is your opportunity. Get their email. I have all of this listed in a list. Okay. And you need to have it in a list. I kind of have it in a list on my head, but because I've done it so much, but I have been doing this since the pandemic happened, which was March of 2020. So it's been 3 years, essentially. You know, I did some lead calling when the pandemic first happened, but then when I got sick, I just went just to my current clients. Okay. So review their address, their phone number, and get their email. Okay. If you don't have it, review the years on their policy. It looks like, Ms. Smith, we have 5 active policies on file for you. And the first one is for you, and it is a Forester's 20-year term policy, and your death benefit is $200,000. You've got your children as a rider on it. Any riders they have, go over them. You've got living benefits rider if they have them on their policy. You've got common carrier death benefit of another $200,000. And it looks like you got this in 2010. And so, gosh darn it, you only have 7 years left. We'll go over that in a minute. Do you know what that means, Ms. Smith? And then just shut up. Do you know what that means? And every 100% of the time, what are they going to say? No. What does it mean? Most of the time, they're going to say no. And they might know what it means, but they just still want you to tell them. And that's just being authentic. And that's just you being trustworthy and building trust. Well, Ms. Smith, what that means is that you had a 20-year guaranteed rate on the plan. And when we got it in 2010, if you remember, it was for your mortgage. Don't you remember you got that mortgage? You got that house back then? And they'll go, oh, yeah. And then I'll say, so what that means is in 7 years, this price isn't going to be there anymore. Basically, it's going to expire on you. I mean, you could keep it, but the price is now 70. It's going to go up to about 7 to 10 times that amount. So it'll be about $700 a month. It's unaffordable for anybody. No one keeps them, you know. So that's why we talk about these things. Now, let me ask you a question, Susie. Now, you know, in the last 5 years, have y'all refinanced your home or moved? I mean, obviously we know if they've moved already because I've already asked them that question, but if they have moved, I mean, you're writing all these things down because why? You're going to use them later to help you transition and pivot into selling opportunities. That's what you're going to do. So many of our clients refinanced in the last 5 years when interest rates were 2%, 3%, and 4%. So many of them did. And guess what? They refinanced for another 30 years. There's a selling opportunity for you right there. Okay. So after you ask them, do you know what that means? And you tell them what it means. You ask them how many years is left on your mortgage. After you ask them, have you refinanced? Well, if they didn't refinance, and maybe they had a 30-year term and we only wrote a 20-year term, then that means there's still a lot of years left that we don't have them covered. So there's another selling opportunity. How about any more kids? How about do you have any more grandkids? How about great grandkids? Oh, that, you know, and then just talk about them. That's fantastic. And then I'll tell them, I just got a new grandbaby, you know? So it's a conversation. It's not just me drilling them on questions. It's a real conversation with people. They get to know me again. I get to know them better. Does that make sense? So then the fourth step. So number 1 is you're building rapport. Number 2 is you're telling them your agenda. Number 3 is you're doing your agenda. So that's reviewing the policy. And then you're going to transition to offers that you're going to make to them. There's always going to be offers. Now you're going to have to make decisions on what type of offers you're going to make them. And you're not going to fire hose them 10 different offers. That's not going to work. But what you need to do is clue in on what their problem is and fill the need. There's a logical problem that you're going to fill. And whether you're not necessarily trying to replace policies, but you may be adding additional coverage or, you know, adding another term policy to help fill that coverage gap. Or if they're in their 60s or 65, maybe it's time to look at a smaller whole life policy. Maybe it's time to look at an accident only plan to help bridge that gap at least get them to 80 with some other extra coverage if they don't have very much money. Maybe it's a cancer or a hospital indemnity plan. Maybe it's a Medicare plan. It just really depends. Choose one or two items and go that direction. Like, for example, today I had 2 current clients. I'm always going to make, if they have term and I know they don't want another term, or if they already have whole life and they don't want an additional whole life, I'm going to look at cancer first. And I'm going to offer them a $10, $20, or $30,000 cancer plan. And if you were on the call on Tuesday, I guess it was last Tuesday.
Last Thursday.
With Miss Queen of the Bundle. She was awesome. If you weren't on the call, here's a plug. That call is available online. So go listen to it.
On the Fitz Group Facebook.
On the Fitz Group Facebook page. Thank you, Megan. And, I learned a ton of stuff from her. I already implemented it on several appointments and made sales from it. I did a Medicare Advantage today because one of my customers, he has a whole life policy and from 2011, and then in 2021 I got him a Medicare Advantage, and I saw that it wasn't active anymore, and I said, so Edward, what happened? He said, well, I got WellCare. I said, well, why'd you get WellCare? He said, well, they were making some offers. He said, I was trying to reach you. Because I said, why didn't you call me? And he said, I was trying to reach you. I think you were going through a lot with your chemo. And I said, I probably was. You're probably right. I said, well, let me talk to you. Which WellCare plan did you get? And then I looked at it, and I looked at his doctors, and I said, well, I tell you what, Cigna has a 5-star plan, and it gives you $20,000 in dental. Your current plan only gives you $3,000. Your current plan doesn't give you any money back, and the Cigna plan gives you $1,500 a year back. I don't know about you, but I generally don't like to throw $1,500 a year in the toilet. How about you? And at the end of the conversation, he said, yeah, I said, in 5-star plans, you can move any time of the year. Because guess what? Medicare gave them that 5-star rating for a reason. People are really happy. And hey, if you don't like it, and by the way, both of his doctors were in it. So I always check the doctors. I always make sure I dot my I's, cross my T's. I get them on the recorded line. I'm compliant with everything that we have to do as a Medicare agent. But at the end of the day, he said, yeah, let's do it, and we did it today. Another lady I talked to, I gave her 3 offers on the cancer plan, and I'm going to follow up with her on it. She wanted to talk to her daughter about it. She knows the need. I reviewed that her Medicare Advantage plan, if she were to get cancer, her 0 premium Medicare Advantage plan could turn into a $661 a month plan, because her out-of-pocket max is $8,000. And what happens when you get cancer? You have to pay 20% copay on all of your chemo. And guess how quickly your out-of-pocket max goes? Like that. So there are we are really trying to protect people's finances when we put these plans in place. And the same thing with the hospital indemnity plan. Same thing with the kids' college plan, or just a child whole life plan. And, I have right here at my desk a folder which has all the pricing that I've printed out for the new accidental plans. So I can immediately give them pricing. I'm not fluttering around. You should have this pricing at your fingertips. You should have the Forrester's pricing at your fingertips. We have a little card here. We can get you this. We can make a copy of this. You have pricing for all of it. You can take a copy and you can shoot them a text. Miss Smith, you want the 50 or the 75,000? Mr. Jones, you want the $15 or $20,000 plan for your whole life policy. I don't ask them if they want it. I make a case for it, and then I ask them which one they want. And I let them tell me no, but they don't normally tell me no. Okay, so that's the big part of doing the sale. And then we just do the sale. And if they say I want the 20,000, then I've got, right here at my desk, I've got all my blank intake forms. And I have a whole bunch of them. And I just start filling in the blanks. And then I get on the computer and I get it done on the computer. And I just chat with them until I get it done and I send it to them. Or if it's one of the e-apps that I don't have to send to them, I just get it done. Now, the final part of, now let's say you don't sell them anything, and that happens too, right? Sometimes that happens too. There's no needs that you can fill at the moment. Maybe they just don't have the money, but you do need to bring a strong case as to why this is important. You need to figure out why. And if you don't know how, you can call us. We'll help you. Now, how do we transition? The last thing I need to do, Ms. Smith, is go ahead and update your emergency list. The insurance carriers are kind of cracking down on us right now, making sure we have our I's dotted and our T's crossed. So it's the emergency list is the first 5 people that would be able to call me in case you and your husband pass away at the same time. Because, you can't even go to Walmart anymore without hearing about a shoot up again. And you watch TV every day and you see people getting shot up. So they just want us to have everything on our ducks in a row. So like it could be your siblings, your nieces, your nephews, your kiddos. Who would be first? And they just shut up. I just need a name, a relationship, and a phone number. And I get 5 names like that from people. Do I get it 100% of the time? No, but 90% of the time I get it. And sometimes if I'm on the phone too long with them, like today with Edward and doing his Medicare stuff, I decided I wasn't going to get that today, but I'll get it the next time I talk with him. Because I don't want to overextend my visit with people at that time. That's just me. I just make a mental note. I mean, if I already got 10 ERSs for the day, I'm going to be busy the next day just trying to, get in touch with those people. So I got to kind of pace myself. Okay. Right now, as I told Megan this morning, I have reminders on my calendar. I have like 180 reminders of things that I haven't gotten to yet. People I need to follow up with, ERS calls I need to make, and just follow up. Or maybe there were appointments that I didn't even get to call. Because I was so busy that day. So that's what happens. So you want to be in that position, right? You want to get yourself in that position. You can do that when you set consistent number of appointments every week and you get ERSs from people. So you get those 5 names. And then after you get those 5 names and numbers, you say, okay, Susie, now here's what I'm going to do. My office tomorrow, and if it's a Friday, I say on Monday, my office will text out these people. It looks like it's for me, and let them know that you're okay, but that you had put them on your emergency list. And then I will get on the phone with them for about 5 minutes and just get them my contact card, make sure they know who I am and how to reach me. Just like I just sent you my updated contact card. Now, so right before I tell them this, I intentionally send them my updated contact card if they don't have it. And it's kind of a new thing. And I used to have an older one. So it is updated. So I send that to them again. And I say, go ahead and save it in your phone. Do you have an iPhone or do you have an Android? And whatever, if they have an iPhone, I tell them how to do it because I have an iPhone. If they have an Android, I tell them you have to import it through your contacts. Do you know how to do that? And make sure they actually do it. That's really important. Okay. Oh man. And then I begin to tell them what's going to happen next. So, and then I say this. Now, Susie, I want to make sure you give your people a heads up because I don't want to be calling your family out of the blue. You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, I'll give them a heads up. So now you got everybody on your side. They know what's going on. You've been totally transparent and everything goes smoothly. And then when you call the ERS the next day or the following few days, and some of them have been a month or two, and I still need to call them, but I will call them and I get in touch with them. They know who I am because they've already been, they've seen the text, they've answered the text. And, if they don't answer the text, honestly, I've got too many other things to do. I have enough people that answer the text. I don't have to worry about the ones that don't. You want to be in that position, right? And then ultimately you want to be in a position where you have people calling in wanting insurance. And I usually have, a couple of call-ins every day. And why is that? Because I send them birthday cards, birthday texts, and different things that we do just to stay in touch. So let me see how am I doing on time.
We've got about 4 minutes left. I want to leave a little bit of time if anybody has questions or comments, but
yeah, that's about
I wrote
it.
all that down. That was good. Yes.
Oh, Megan had a new question.
Well, I was just saying that, yeah, I had sent you the message. It's not always I just wanted to disclaimer. It's not always a Medicare pivot. A lot of us on here don't do Medicare.
And I get that. So most of the time it's not a Medicare pivot. One of the ones I did the other day, yeah, that's a good example. He doesn't even have any active policies with me. But it's been like 6 years and, he has 6 children. And he asked me about the kids' policies. I said, I do all the college kids' policies all the time. And what about one for you and your wife? How's your retirement going? So I did a presentation over the Friday with him for all 6 of his kids, $50 a month IUL, and then like $500 a month for him and $500 a month for his wife. And he loved it. He had, turns out he had already done a lot of research on them, and turns out he knew that I knew what I was talking about, and I presented it well. And he wants to get all of his kids done, and he needs me to get on with his wife because she wasn't there, because he doesn't know how to explain it to her, and he knows that. He wants me to sell it to her too. So, yeah, do more presentations you do, the better you're going to get. The more offers you make, the more sales you're going to close. It's just a numbers game. But you have to be committed. You have to believe in your products.
Jonathan?
Yeah, that was really good. Ton of reminders. I've heard you do that before, Michelle, and it's always good to hear it again. I just want to give a plug for, just as a reminder, everybody, about some resources. So Slack is super useful if you want to get in touch with somebody individually. Just send a Slack, to find out maybe their calendar or if you need help. I just want to remind you guys of that. Don't feel shy about reaching out. Slack's probably the best way to do it. We're always looking at it with business stuff. And then a question I had for you, Michelle, you obviously built your book to where it is. So I know there's newer people on the call, people who have a book, people who are building it. For years, what did you focus on to build the book of business up? And did you always do reviews as you were building it?
So as I was building my book, I never did reviews. We never had the CRM. We were totally unorganized. We were flying by the seat of our pants, and we were running leads every week, spending $500 a week on leads. And I was out in the field seeing people face to face. So if you didn't do a review before and you've had a customer for 10 years, it's okay. Just start where you are and go from there. It's not a perfect world. And I can tell you that probably I have 4,600 customers, but you know what? Maybe only 1,000 of them are active. Hello. Does that mean anything? No. It just means I might have 2,000 active. I don't know. But I'm getting so many more referrals now. When you will use the ERS system, you will find out. And just for a plug, we're doing some good training tomorrow with Diane Lampy on how that happened. And then next Thursday is another really good training on the ERS and how that is exploding.
I was going to ask you what's the automatic script you push out there for that? What's the message?
So the message for a review or an ERS?
For the emergency list.
Okay, for the emergency list.
Well, for both.
Yeah, I can get that to y'all. And
Okay.
it basically says, hey, Robert, this is Michelle Alleman, and I'm your mom's life insurance agent. Smiley face. She's okay, but I just need 5 minutes of your time. Is morning or afternoon better?
Okay.
That's it.
And then
they're
you
just gonna
get them on
respond
and
with morning or afternoon.
and then you get them on and then you review their policy, or do you then say, oh, well, by the way, what do you have and all that?
So that's a great question. So when they respond back, we get them on the calendar and we just kind of put them in between other appointments, either in the morning or afternoon, whatever they prefer. We don't set a specific time because I've got a lot of other appointments and I don't want to make it too strict on that. That's how I do it. And then I get on the phone and I say, hey, Robert, this is Michelle. I'm your mom's life insurance agent. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. Listen, I'm just going to take about 5 minutes of your time to go over the emergency information. Do you have that? Do you have a moment now?
Sure. I got it.
Fantastic. Very good. Well, first of all, I've been an agent for 20 years, but I've been your mom's agent for the last 6 years. And it doesn't matter if it's been 2 years or 1 year, or I'm your mom's new agent. But my main purpose of this call is to make sure that you know she put you on her emergency list. And what that means simply is that if something happens to your mom and dad together, you can call me to file the claim. Are you okay with doing that?
Sure. Yes. I want to do it.
Okay, good deal. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and send you my virtual contact card. Do you have an iPhone or an Android?
I have an iPhone.
Perfect. I'm texting it to you now from my iPhone. And you get Megan or Jonathan to text it to you if you don't have it. So you know what it looks like.
I don't.
Okay. So I'll text you mine right now. So just, I just hit share. I have it in my phone. And what's your number?
256-417-3579.
Oh, you're in my phone, Robert.
There you go.
So I just texted it to you. Now, can you check your text messages for me right now and make sure you got it? This is exactly what I do with them on the phone.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay, good deal. Now I want you to, now with your iPhone, I want you to open it up and scroll all the way to the bottom. See where it says create new contact?
All right, hold on. Let me go back.
And ours, I can do that for you.
You're muted, Robert.
Okay.
We can't hear you.
There you go. We can now.
All right, maybe it's muting me when I go out of here, though. Hold on.
Probably.
Let me jump back. What about now?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay, good. All right, you say go to the bottom.
You see where it says create new contact?
Add to existing contact, create new contact. Yeah.
Push that button. Okay, now I'm locked in your phone. So anytime you need to reach me, even if you don't remember my name, you can just search on life insurance or any of those other words. It's up in there. Tax-free retirement, 401k. And oh, by the way, Robert, your mom, she called me because she needed a burial policy. But I do all kinds of different policies. I do mortgage protection. I do replacement of income, a regular life insurance policy. I do retirement plans, 401k rollovers, and kids and grandkids plans. So if I can ever be a resource to you, or if you just ever want me to review your plans, I'm happy to do it. Okay.
Do you ever try to hit them up, especially if they're like 30 something? Like, do you start in on the retirement on them? you know.
I really do use this call as a customer service call.
Okay.
Only. And I let them ask, I posture myself such in a way that they're going to ask me questions, and 2 out of 5 will. And they really appreciate that I'm not just trying to peddle a product onto them, that the real matter that I at hand today is that they get me in their phone, because I know one day they're going to need me. So, and I'm giving them hints and clues. They can look up if they search on any of these names, my name is going to come up now. And feel free to use me as a resource. And then some of them are going to ask me, well, and one lady asked me, well, ma'am, are you taking on any more customers? Because I need a policy. I mean, that's what she said. I said, well, yes, ma'am, I'll be happy to help you, you know. But
it's like that candy right at the register at the grocery store. They don't say, hey, do you want a candy bar? Just sitting there in front of you. She just puts it out there, right? And wait for them to grab one. That's it. You could have walked down the candy aisle 15 times and I'm not doing it. Okay.
You kind of take it away from them and then they want it more. It's kind of like the same thing with dating. And so if they want to talk to me about policy, I'm going to say, you know what? I don't have time today, but let's set up an appointment. Let me get your date of birth and what health issues, what are your, kind of give me a real big, real quick view of your medical. Do you have heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes? And oh, by the way, what type of policy? So I'm doing all my background research really fast with them, and I'm getting them off and I'm setting an appointment.
I think there's 2 things from all that, Robert, is one, she drops all these things that she can do. That's the candy store. I mean, that's the candy shelf right at the grocery. And it says, if I be a resource. She doesn't go say things like, if I can do it, if I can help you or anything like that, be a resource. But
if
the
you
other
ever
thing,
need me to review any of the policies that you currently have.
That's about the only thing she's asking for in the whole process, because I've listened to this 1,000 times. Trust me, driving her to the MD Anderson on a regular basis, I hear it all. But you're right, and just leaving it out there for people to respond. I forgot what else I was going to say.
Well, and it's in writing in the card, and you've made sure you've done the process of making sure they're getting it in their phone, and that's a real big key that people. It's a small thing, but it's a huge thing.
And I'll say this about the card. Her card that she shares with everybody. It says life insurance, Michelle.
Right.
Why? Because if they're looking for life insurance, they might start typing life or something and they'll find it in their phone. We've all been there where we said, hey, give me your phone number. I'll call you tomorrow. You walk away from them 20 minutes later. You can't remember the name. You now can't look it up in your phone. Right. But if you don't know Michelle's name, you're going to remember life insurance or insurance. Or they're just searching for their regular insurance agent. They might actually make a mistake call and call you for something.
And I forget names a lot. And so I'll say that to them. If you don't remember my name, and it's okay, I don't expect you to, you can just type in the word life insurance and my name will pop up,
That's cool. I need to figure out how to set one of those up. And
very simple. You just cut and paste. And put your name there, and then where it says principal agent, that's where it says company on your phone. You're gonna cut and paste that into your notes on your Apple phone, and then you're gonna cut and paste it into the contact. You're gonna make a new contact for yourself.
But make sure you don't put it in the notes. Make sure you put it in, because the notes won't show up on his end.
Correct. Do not put it in the notes.
Make a company name that looks really, really long. That's why you got to cut and paste it.
Yeah, you can put a bunch of letters in there.
Well,
that's great. I know we're going over a little bit of time, but I felt like that was good, and we should have. Are there
the better notes you have, the better agent you're going to be to your customers. And as I've been through this process now, multiple times, because it's been 3 years, I do have notes from last year, and I'll bring those things up to people, and then I'll make more sales, and it's just being organized and being a good agent is your number one job, and the sales will come.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. So you said when you're on the phone, you take a picture of the chart and you text it to them also? I missed that. And you just ask them,
Yeah,
hey,
sometimes,
do you want the 10,000 or the 15? Is that what you know, that's when you said that, remember?
so on the accidental, I just have the accidental.
Okay. Oh,
No,
okay.
if it's a whole life, I'm actually running the quote while I'm on the phone with them.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm choosing the carrier, I'm running the quote. I might use the insurance toolkits first, or I might just go to a carrier that I know that's going to accept them, that I like.
Okay. Okay. The accidental's the picture. Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes when I send them the picture that, sometimes I'll give them just two options, but sometimes I'll just send them the picture. Whatever I think is going to be a better opportunity for me to make that sale for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. I think everybody after this call can go and create their own contact card. If you don't, I don't even think I have your updated contact card, Michelle.
I thought you did, but
So send me your updated contact card.
I do. I'll do it.
And then I believe all of us can easily go and create that if we don't already have it for ourselves. That way we can have that to send it out.
Because I've only had this one updated because Brandy, kudos to you, Brandy, because she helped me figure out that all that information needs to go in the company area, not in the notes area, because the notes is private and it won't go to your customer. So like on some of my contacts, I have my writing number, and I used to never send that to agents because I didn't want them to really know my writing number, right? But now I can because it's in the notes and then you won't get it. So
any other questions, or anybody had like a win from an ERS this week that they want to share?
Mine might have been, mine was an ERS. I had one of the 3 apps.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was, I did just what Michelle said. She told me this about 3 weeks ago. She's told me way before, but she went over it again in that last tidbit where she said, if you need to use me as a resource. And that really changed it for me because I guess I forgot to write that line down a month ago. So yeah, it's really helped. So this one, it was a whole life plan, and she didn't think she could get coverage, and I'm like, well, let's just like, what you got? What's going on? And she had 2.5 years ago, she had the heart surgery. So Aflac approved her by today, actually.
Wonderful.
So yeah, they were shocked, and so her mom's more than likely. So it's just more, her mom's her ERS, and she's going to be, more than likely getting more coverage for her and the mom herself. So it's a trickle effect, keeps going.
Yeah. Hey, once you get in, you become the insurance lady.
Yeah. That's what
Once they
call
know
me.
they can trust you, you're the insurance lady for the whole family, or the insurance man for the whole family.
yeah.
All right. Great call.
Hey, hey, this is Jerry. I just want to make one last comment. So before I started dialing Saturday, my first set of dials, I was really struggling with how to work the script. So I got on the boot camp, started looking at those videos of calls. So I want to thank Jonathan because it was actually his way of doing things. He simplified it, and I just kind of emulated. And you're talking about laying off the stress being gone. So I just want to say thanks, Jonathan, for having that video out.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad it helped. That's what we're here for. So.
It's scary, man, when you start. And that's exactly what I did. I listened to a lot of audio, and I just copied, and I just made it super simple for myself. So,
And I'm glad thanks for sharing that, Jerry.
and he set an appointment.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have like a bad dial session or you're just feeling nervous about getting on the phone, that's such a healthy practice that you did into going into the boot camp and listening to successful people say the script out loud so you can get back in the right mindset or feel more confident to make the calls. That's great. So, and there's different voices on there, which makes it great because not everybody, has the same script. And
No, they're not one and the same. And
yeah, which is encouraging, isn't it?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
guess what?
And
You
it
can
just
be yourself.
it just happened that Jonathan, I mirrored him. I said, "Oh, that's me right there. I could do that right there. That's it." Sorry, Michelle. I listened to yours too, and and I listened to Walker's, and I'm just like, no, it was Jonathan's.
Hey, it doesn't matter how you get there, Jerry. That's why we're a team. All of you guys have such an influence on us and each other, and it's powerful. We all really need each other to make it all work. So thanks for sharing that and encouraging us to continue to stay in front of you guys in that way. All right. Is there anything else? Any more questions, comments, concerns? You all look beautiful. Most of you have your cameras off, but hey, Brett, Jonathan, Michelle. Oh, there's Jerry.
There's Jerry.
Mike.
I'm outside.
All right. Well,
You
just
got your
call us if
picture
you
though,
need us.
Sonia. You look great.
Lean
Thank
in
you.
on us.
I'm in the bed.
All righty, thanks.
All right.
Thanks for the meeting, and
Yep, we'll see you guys tomorrow
tomorrow
on
morning.
the DSCC. Y'all have a great evening.
Have a good one.